Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly. Welcome to I Got a New Deck. This channel just showcases oracle decks, tarot decks, and divination system decks from my personal collection. I do not receive a penny for any of it thus far. Should that change, I'll be completely transparent about it. Even so, my reviews will be fair yet honest. With this, today's deck is Karma Cards by Monte Farber. This is the casing that it comes in, the packaging. Like, I love the image there. Put it a little closer, okay? And then you open it up. The guidebook slides here, okay? And then the insert for the cards. And I like that they included a packaging for the cards for extra protection and storage purposes. So, standard cards, let me just put this. This is a standard playing card deck. And this, just to compare, is this size, okay? So not overly large. I have small hands, they fit really nice. They have the rounded. The stock paper's thin. It has a thin coating, so shuffling different styles, definitely doable. Without damage to the card, I think. This system is different in that there are 3 piles. So you would divide this deck into planets, signs, and houses. This is an astrological based deck. Now, I'm an intuitive reader, so oftentimes I don't look at the deck, the guidebook for the deck. I'm going to tell you what happened because I did not. So I had just innately shuffled all the cards and I was doing flyers and everything like that. And what happened was this. It didn't make sense. And now I'm going to tell you why. Just to show you, this is a planet. Okay. There's a lot of information. Even though that there's 1-2 words, this is a very detailed reading with just 3 cards. So, the red font you're going to see here, that is for the action regarding the situation, okay? The blue font, when you reverse the card, is the possible outcome. So what you do is you divide the cards into the 3 piles, planets, signs, and houses. And then you just pick one from each pile. Make sure they're lined with all the same font at the top, because again, it will not make sense if you do 2 blue and 1 red font. It kind of doesn't make sense. So we have Saturn in Pisces in the 6th house. Okay, just to show you. There we go. So you would read it first, planet, sign, and then the house, okay? They have a little illustration just for an intuitive cue. And the sections they have are as follows: spiritual, mental, physical. Okay? Depending on your background in astrology, would dictate how dependent you need to be on the guide, using the guidebook while you first use this system. I have a decent amount of knowledge in astrology, and yet I did find further information and cues, so very happy for that. So here we go. I have here for the spiritual, it says be realistic about your dreams as a full-time job. The mental is be concerned about your idealization of serving. The physical is you must wait before you can be part of something overwhelming and do it a little at a time. So, this message to me would be somebody who's starting their own business, right? Seems pretty, a very easy example is don't think you're going to be a millionaire within 30 days. It takes time, patience, editing, revamping, budgeting. At some point, you're going to need help like marketing, legal team, for copywriting, etc., to protect your intellectual property, etc. So it's not saying not to do something. It's saying, and I'm hearing in my head, piano, piano, as my no would say. Take your time. Anything successful, there's really no overnight successes. It takes a lot of time. Like, I know myself, I've had other channels and I've used other social media platforms, and the success that I have gotten off the platforms, it has been more for me to utilize some of my clair gifts to help as a sole purpose. So for me, yes, I've received monetization for my spiritual gifts via platform, but it's not my intent. I have a client base off of the internets, and so this is more to share messages that I think maybe somebody in the collective may benefit from. But definitely, if you're thinking about self-employment, take the steps, do the boring stuff, like make sure, get some legal advice, budgeting. I know, and I feel like I'm talking to a creative in the collective. Like, I just want to paint, or I just want to create, right? Like, I don't want to deal with this stuff. Okay, perfect. Then get you around people that do that. Or you can do bartering system where, you create something for them and they offer their accounting, It takes time. Saturn takes time, right? Saturn, that planet, it's not one that, it's a slow and steady kind of vibe, Saturn. Pisces is about emotions and dreams and passions. Oftentimes it gets stuck in your head, right? And you'll fantasize about it before putting an application, because the boring administrative part seems so overwhelming and out of your comfort zone that you give up. I just heard, sorry, I channel, and I know this is my other channel is Graceful Guidance, Divination, and Esoteric Counsel. Check out for actual channel messages, but I just heard running up that hill. Kate Bush, you might check that out for any messages. And the 6th house, it's abundance, cultivation of gifts and abundance, and how you achieve that. So that is just a very, very brief little mini reading of the action. So if we flip these all over now, still the same order, and that it's planets, signs, and houses, you will read the possible outcome. The maturity that brings spirituality to ultimately experience service to others. See, once you cultivate, and if your intent is positive and pure, and you take the time to do the work, it will organically flow into abundance in divine timing. I know a lot of people don't like that term. They hate it. I know as a person that patience is not always my highest virtue. That divine timing sometimes triggers. But it is what it is. So that's the spiritual aspects. The mental would be caution regarding trusting in your psychic knowledge of what is good for us. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate intuition versus illusion, fantasy versus reality a bit, to, again, if you want to be a circus clown, be a circus clown. But if you're a doctor, I don't know if overnight you should say, I'm going to be a circus clown. There's some steps of transition there. And listen to... Okay, see, I'm very clairaudient. I'm sorry, because now I'm hearing, listen to your heart. by Roxanne. Also, some sidebar advice though. If what may work for you, what business template may work for you, may not work for another, and vice versa. So that's just a little hint regarding that. There is a fine line between asking for advice from people that you know support your goals, your dreams, and passions. And so if they're giving constructive feedback, it's from a place of support and love for you, versus somebody just kiboshing and crapping all over your dreams, versus someone who's very polite and you're like, yes, do it now. Sell all your stuff. Let's do this. Balance. The physical part. Limits imposed resulting from the indecision of or about your work. So, how successful you could be would be like what you determine to be successful, first of all, and the glass ceiling, How far do you want to go? What is important to you? Do you have a dollar amount of what you deem as successful? I probably wouldn't recommend that. That could be very disheartening. But some people, if they believe in the secret and like, I'm going to make $1 million this year, and they throw that out. The law of attraction, it's a thing. That's real. So I'm not completely kiboshing that. I'm just saying, sometimes we put limitations and blocks and obstacles in front of us that are they imagined, or they imposed from another. Just things to think about. So, do I recommend this deck? I do. Do I recommend it to somebody who's just brand new and, want their first deck? Again, being supportive, I would say you would do some research. This would be a great tutorial along with, say, an astrological reference book to get you knowledgeable about astrology, for sure. If you're starting out and astrology is your main interest, this would be a great reference tool with a reference book to give you the fundamentals and the foundation of astrology. If you're not interested that much into astrology and you want a first oracle deck, this won't hold your attention then, because it's very astrologically based. So I would say a little more seasoned person or someone who's really interested in learning about astrology would benefit from getting this particular oracle divination system. Now, price point, I'm just going to look at the back here. Do I have the price? It was reasonable. I was going to say, I think it was like under $25. So, I mean, the guidebook is very thorough. Very thorough. And you'll learn a lot about astrology. And the system gives very clear messages. So I highly recommend, especially if you're into astrology or you want to learn about astrology, yes, I would recommend it. The quality's there, the information's there, the presentation's there, and the storage and the packaging is great. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the Karma cards from Monte Farber. If this doesn't interest you, check out maybe a couple of my other videos. I'm going to be posting a lot more of them. They're taking a little long to upload, but that's okay. Again, patience. My name is Kimberly. This was I Got a New Deck. Until we're able to engage again, stay safe, be well, take care of you.